One show on D Live, folks. Let's
Despite D Live.
despite D Live. Mike,
Fucking asshole.
want to see what happens? This is in Tampa, by the way, so this is your stomping ground. Maybe you can even tell me what park this is. So there's these two dudes fishing, and remember that B whatever activist group that attached themselves to the duck machine?
Yeah.
Well, this is the same organization. It's different people, and they're in Tampa. Now, full disclosure, this activist group is from Orlando, and they're visiting somebody in Tampa. So they're at a park in Tampa where this guy is fishing, okay? This video's a couple years old, but check this out. So they send their kid, the activist people send their kid, to go and talk to these guys that are fishing.
Do you know that fish feel pain? When you hook them in their mouths, it really hurts them.
Okay.
So they send their kid out there to go and fucking bug these people until them fish feel pain.
So please stop fishing.
No!
It really hurts them.
I'm so sick of people.
Of course.
Do you understand that this is what I've been saying for months now about people who just cannot help but have to go and fuck with other people? Like, you don't know better than everyone else. Just go away. I don't get that. I hold a lot of very passionate beliefs that conflict all the time with other people's beliefs. But unless I need to speak up in that moment, it's just like, what are you doing, man? This is you're ruining the kids' day. You're ruining these guys' day. You're ruining everyone's day because it's about you.
You guys just gonna let this fish die like this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and then we're going to eat it.
It's fishing. It's called fishing.
You know, what if this was a dog and I hooked the dog through the mouth and threw her in the water?
Well, first off, dogs aren't native to
Yeah,
the
I
water.
mean, really, only in this country would that be an unacceptable thing.
Yeah, it's
pretty
like
much any
do
country
it
and
in
culture
China.
in the world, they would. There are countries and cultures in this world that would use a living human baby as bait to catch a more valuable whale. Just stop it. Stop it. Just sanctimonious horse shit.
Yep.
How would you guys feel about that? We don't eat any animals because all animals
So
have the
good for you! That's my point. Like, God damn it, good for you.
It gets worse. You're not even the tip of the iceberg here.
same ability to feel love and pain just like we do. Would you guys agree with that?
No, I respect your opinion.
You don't? Do you respect his opinion not to kill animals?
No, I don't respect his opinion. He's a kid. He's a
Yeah.
child. Nobody's opinion should be respected less than an 8-year-old boy's opinion.
Kyle Kashif's.
I would still defer to Kyle Kashif.
All right.
I would defer to Kyle Kashif. I would use a Ouija board. I would use a 10-sided die to decide our next move before I took into consideration the opinion of an 8-year-old child.
Do you guys think that this is okay to let this fish die right here? What if this was a human child?
Shut up!
But what if it was? They have the same
But it's not a human child.
ability and same
I want-
emotions
you know,
as a
if I-
human
if-
child.
If I could be
Fish do not have the same abilities or emotions as a human child. They don't. There's no proof that fish are the same as a baby.
I if I could just have one superpower, it would be the ability to have like spidey sense, where I always know some activist is doing something like this, and just be able to get there within a moment's
And
notice.
just fuck with them.
I could just have a megaphone and yell in their face
Who cares?
over and over again. Nobody cares, nerd. Nobody cares, nerd. Nobody cares, nerd. Can you just imagine it really loud? Nobody cares, nerd. Nobody cares, nerd. Just over and over again until the guy leaves because his ear is ringing. And then just with the megaphone still on, turn and go, "You gentlemen can resume fishing." You just leave. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for that.
Actually, I have a megaphone if
Well,
you want.
but
But I wanted to use it. Everybody
did the
else
bit.
says. All right,
But yeah,
good
that's
bit.
you just yell in their face until because that's what they're doing. You're just being insufferable and yelling until people get annoyed.
Oh, no.
Like it's all about trying to annoy people into doing what you want.
Watch this.
So insufferable, man.
That's your opinion.
That's not my opinion. That's facts, sir.
Sir.
That's facts from science, sir.
Okay, well, you know
it
what?
is facts.
Here's a fact for you. It's legal to fish in the city of Tampa. So that's
is.
when it comes to facts, right? Fact number one. These guys are probably, they're a little older. They probably have worked their whole lives, right? Probably some 60-hour weeks in there. They probably own a very shitty little house, a little bungalow there in Tampa, probably somewhere in Wesley Chapel where the blacks are starting to move in and ruin their lives. The crime's going up, and their whole life is pretty much almost over. They're probably not even going to get their Social Security because this country's going to go bankrupt and go to war with the fucking Middle East. Everything's falling apart, and the only thing that this fat old fuck wants is to meet up with his buddy, have a beer or two, and catch a goddamn fish.
Watch this.
And he can't even have that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this makes me mad.
Watch this.
Yo, you're not gonna touch him.
I'm not gonna touch this fish that's dying.
Your property? Is he your property?
Is he your property?
Yes, under the statutes, once you catch a fish, it becomes your property in Florida. No, it
I'd
does.
love to see this guy
It
get
does.
arrested.
It is our property.
No, he's not. Don't step on that fish.
Call the police.
Call the police. I just saved the fish life. How about that?
So they picked up his fish.
Which, by the way, it was a dead fish at this point.
right. and
That fish
threw-
was
yes,
dead.
and threw it back in the
He
water.
just threw a dead fish back in the river.
He threw the guy's fish that that was a nice catch, by the way. He threw his fish back in the water.
How about that? Call the police.
Or a cat or a human.
We've already been asked by cat.
I'm fixing to throw him back in the water.
Yo, you're not gonna touch him.
I'm not gonna touch this
Why?
fish.
Because
that's
he's
dying.
your property? Is he your
Is
property?
he your property?
He is now. It is our property.
No, he's not. Don't step on that
I will
fish.
call the police.
Call the police. I just saved the fish life. How about that? How about that? Call the police. I just saved
You're
the
on
fish's
video.
life.
Do
How
not
about that?
touch him.
How about that?
That is
How about
stealing.
that?
That is harassment.
I'm
That is
Stealing the
theft.
fish
You
out of the
need to
lake.
leave.
You stole him.
Imagine just going to a park on look like a beautiful day to just go fishing for a little bit. And these guys show up, grab your fish, and they throw it in the water.
Sign this.
I don't care what that
don't
sign.
think
Think that it's okay to teach kids to kill animals? Do you think that's okay?
Paying attention to that.
Do you think that's okay?
No, I don't. But they're not paying attention.
You're
to
making
that.
them pay attention. You're making
No,
them
you
pay
are with your
attention.
mouth and yelling.
Very much
So what? So what? I
So
saved
what?
the
So
fish's
what?
life. I saved the
Okay,
fish's
good.
life.
How much you want to bet that all these people are also pro-choice? How much do you want to bet that all of these people go to pro-choice rallies?
Oh, yeah, no, these are insufferable, lefty, you can't eat meat, you're fucking sad, everything's
But
just-
you can't have an abortion. I'm telling you, this is the same people. These are the same people that give more of a fuck about a fish. Who cares, man? We eat animals. That's fucking part of it. You don't have to. I respect people that don't want to eat animals. Good for you guys. I'm glad. But when you come and you ruin somebody's day who's trying to fish, now there's another video where
Can I, I don't know if you know this, because that video was from about 7 months ago.
it was a pretty old video.
He was fined. The cops did end up coming. They fined, a guy's name is Michael Learning. He was fined $500 for stealing the man's fish. How great is that?
Oh, you mean these police?
Oh, you got it?
Yep. So the cops
Apparently
show
these
up.
guys say that we were harassing them, but we have freedom of speech out here. So we didn't.
You have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom to take somebody's property and throw it in the water.
No. Also with this freedom of speech bullshit, which, yes, I do believe in absolute freedom of speech. However, we really are going to lose freedom of speech if we can't all, as adults, start learning, once again, how to responsibly express it. And that's the problem. Because we do have the freedom of speech. You can say and think whatever you want in this country, and hopefully they never take that from us. But more and more now, people think that now gives me a right to come up to you and your wife while you're at dinner and ruin your evening with my free speech.
Yeah, it's
that's not
weird.
a right that you have. You don't have that right. And we're going to get more and more laws passed over time. Our government is going to convince, as we all become victims of harassment under freedom of speech, we're all going to turn to lawmakers and go, please make this stop. And we're going to give up freedom of speech. So people have freedom of speech, but you also have freedom to not be a cunt.
No,
And
but
people are exercising their freedom of speech all they want. Nobody is exercising their right to not be a cunt.
You're right. You can't. There's a difference between standing in front of a place and protesting. I mean, I believe you should be able to do all that. There's a difference between walking up to these people and going, hey, I don't believe in fishing. The moment they go, all right, man, but just leave me alone. At some point now you're harassing these people. This isn't a freedom of speech. You've made your point, right? Okay, we got your point. Can you leave me alone now? it's like following somebody or stalking somebody. You leave them alone. Like you don't. And on top of that, freedom of speech doesn't cover taking somebody's fish that they caught and throwing it back in the water. You know.
And I do like that Argato is, I guess, whining that it's a fish, it's not property. It's your property. It's your property.
As a matter of fact, no, the cop explains it. She actually pulls up the statute.
Legally, it's your property. If you catch a fish, well, he's like, just because it bit a hook and
Watch
turned
this.
the wheel, it's not your. No, it's mine now.
Watch this.
Harassing him, but we have freedom of speech out here.
Watch.
So we didn't do anything that harassed him or anything like that. Okay.
Did somebody take the man's property and throw it back in the water?
No, we didn't.
Did somebody take the man's property? Watch this.
Not take anybody's property.
Did you put fish back?
Nobody's property
Sir,
did we
stop,
take.
stop.
Okay.
Did you throw fish back in the water that the man caught?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I threw the fish back in
well,
because
that's his problem.
I saved the fish's life,
Do
ma'am.
you understand that once he catches the fish, it's his property?
Ma'am, animals are nobody's property. They're living beings, and I don't believe that any.
Yes, if I go to Publix and buy a whole chicken, it's now my property.
By the way,
Any
guys, if you're gonna go through life saying things like, "Yo, that's an animal. It's not anybody's property." If you're doing that, you're doing it probably so you can get laid. And I will tell you this, boys, you'll sure get laid, but not by anybody that you would want to bother fucking in the first
No,
place.
not something you want to procreate with.
Individual person has the right to call an animal their property, especially when they took it out of this
can't
lake
own
here.
property,
Preaching to the wrong
man.
person. I'm just trying to find out information. Okay?
Watch.
Okay.
Calm down. Take a breath. Okay?
So she starts getting mad at him because he's screaming.
I'm standing a foot away from you. I don't know if you're talking to him or everybody else. but
I'm
you're
talking to you, ma'am. That's
plenty
all.
loud enough for me to hear you from 5 feet away.
Okay.
Which is probably unnecessary.
I'm sorry. I will straighten that up.
Please understand that the police come out to numerous types of calls. When we try to explain to you what a crime is as opposed to who somebody's property is according to state statute, regardless of ethics or free speech or so forth. If state statute says that once they catch it, it's theirs, then I do have to abide by that. Regardless.
Yes, in Florida state statute, once you catch a fish, it is your property.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
And if you're making the argument that the fish isn't anyone's property, Argato, let's get this straight right now. If I took a meat hook and ripped your face off, okay, and I carried your head around for a while, that head would be my property. Now, of course, obviously, if I'm caught with your head in my custody, I'm going to get arrested.
Right.
It's the whole thing. I get that. But for that time being, legally speaking, your head belongs to me. It's my head.
And if
It's mine.
the fish
My
is nobody's property, I could just walk into a grocery store and just take fish and walk out the door and be like, you don't own animals, man.
Yeah, that would be great.
Think about it.
I would go into Publix
It's
tonight
lobster tails.
and just steal lobster tails and New York strips.
Yeah, be like, you don't own animals, man.
This is a cow, man. And like, sir, you have to pay for that. That is a $28 New York strip.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 4 of them, and now I'm leaving, bro.
Yeah, you can't own animals, dude. Yes, you can. I own a dog. Shut up. All right.
That's true too. With
Yeah,
the dog,
I
you
own a
own
dog.
the dog.
The dog's mine.
If his dog breaks out right now,
Yeah.
right, and some cop or somebody finds the dog later, the first order of business they're going to try to settle is, whose dog is this?
Yeah, who owns it?
To whom belongs this dog?
Yeah.
Because it's somebody, and then they go, there's a little tag right there, and you go, Royce Lopez. All right, hang on.
There
I
it
think
is.
we found a guy who owned the dog.
Hey, he's just
he
saying
legally owns this
he,
dog.
He paid for it and he bought a dog. All right, guys.